Alright, subpart E, track appliances, track-related devices. The subpart prescribes the minimum requirements for the track applied to the track-related devices, the derail, through to 13, 205 derails. 205 each. Each of the derails shall clearly visible in guidance for the track safety standards require the derail to be clearly visible through the track safety standards do not specify color derails to be painted. They must be visibly railroad. Employ the derail dark in color obstructed with the vegetation would not be compliant there. F205 when locked in position, derail should be free of the loss of motion would prevent it from performing an intended function. Inspectors will need to determine the extent of the movable due to the worn part of the improper adjustment and any determination of such movement to render the derail effective. 205C, each of the derails shall be maintained with the function intended for the guidance derail at the various design may be the following types of switch points, spring switch points, sliding, hinge, or portable. Derails can be operated with various means, electrical, hand throw, lever to the mechanical rod for the point of other than a derail. There should be included with the derail stocking the directly away from the track of the facility, protected in addition with the requirements of the section switch point type of the rail must comply with the requirements of statute 213-133 type of turnout, generally 213-135 general switches. 205D, each of the derails shall be properly installed with the rails of which is applied with paragraph D is applicable to September 21st, 1999. Derails must be properly supplied with the rail which is applied with the derails manufactured size based on the rail section which they are applied with should be installed according to the manufacturer's instruction. Installation derail with incorrect size may derail the inspectors may use the derail manufacturer instruction. The specification used the guide to determine if the derail is properly installed. The incorrect side of the rail is applied. Derails are made by the hand of right or left. The derail equipment decides on a specific side of the track, and in addition with the universal derail, the derail equipment is either direction the derail is installed. Derail equipment toward the main track that should otherwise be protected with the constitute an improperly installed rail. The hand derail placed in the wrong direction would constitute the improperly installed derail. Subpart F, inspection. Subpart 213 and 231. The subpart prescribes the requirements of the frequency manual for the inspection of the detect of the deviation of the standard prescribed for the part. The 233, Alright, 213 through 233, the track inspection. 233A, all the track inspection according to the schedule prescribed in the paragraph C of this section of the person is assigned under statute 213-7. The recognize the proper inspection for the track essential for the safety maintenance subpart depth that contains the minimum requirement for the frequency manual for the inspection tractor should now know that the track owner will exceed the track safety standard interest of the good practice and they cannot be less restricted. The FRA track safety program success dependent upon the adequacy of the railroad inspection after the subsequent maintenance program monitoring self-assessing the railroad track condition, they will regular inspection integral safety success. Statute 233B, with each of the inspection shall be made with the foot of the riding over the track with the vehicle at the speed allowed for the person make with the inspection, visual inspection of the track structure of the compliance with this part. However, the mechanical, electrical, other track inspection devices may be used supplemental visual inspection if the vehicles are used the visual inspection speed, but the vehicle may not be other than more than 5 miles an hour when passing over the track, crossing in the turnouts. Otherwise, inspection vehicle speed shall be at the sole discretion. Inspectors are based on the track condition inspection requirements while riding over the track of the vehicle. The inspection is subject to the following conditions. 1. The inspector vehicle may inspect the two tracks at one time provided, but the inspector visibility may remain unrestricted any of the cause of the second track is not centered more than 30 feet from the track upon which the inspector is riding. 2. Inspectors one vehicle may inspect the 4 tracks at the time provided the inspector visibility remains obstructed by any cause that each of the track being inspected is centered 39 feet from the track upon the inspectors are riding. Each of the main track is actually transverse. The vehicle inspected with the foot 1 foot loose 1 foot least at one every 2 weeks. Each of the siding actually traversed with the vehicle inspected with the foot loose for at least once every month. And 1 high-density commuter railroad lines with the tracker line time does not permit on the track vehicle inspection where the track stands at 15 foot or less. The requirements of the paragraph B3 will not apply. Track inspection record should indicate with which of the track of the transverse vehicles are inspected on the foot outlined in paragraph B3 of the section. The paragraph specifies the number of additional tracks that can be inspected depending upon whether 1 and 2 qualified railroad inspectors are the vehicle. Depending upon the distance between the adjacent track, 30 to 39 feet measured between the track center lines. The track owner railroad inspector may inspect multiple trucks up to 4 for the high rail vehicles. Track obstructed with a few of the light tunnels and difference in the ground level. Railroad rolling stock cannot be included by the inspector records, but section 213-233B but requires that each of the main tracks transverse at least once every 2 weeks and siding transverse at least once every month. The track inspection required records in statute 213-241 must be indicated with the track transverse according to paragraph B3. 233C, each of the tracks shall be made in accordance with the following schedule. Expected track class 1, 2, and 3 of the main track and sidings weekly, at least 3 calendar days intervals between the inspection before use. The track is used less than once a week, twice weekly, at least 1 calendar day interval between the inspection. If the track carries passenger trains more than 10 million gross tons traffic during a preceding year. Expected track 1, class 1, 2, and 3 other than main track sidings monthly, at least 20 calendar days interval between inspection. Class 4 twice weekly. Class 4 and 5 twice weekly, at least 1 calendar day interval between inspection. Guidance: geometry inspection will not consider acceptable meeting with the required inspection frequency specified in Statute 213-233C unless the waiver along with the substitution is effect. Section 213-233C specifies the minimum frequency with its frequency must be conducted with the purpose of Statute 213-233C outline frequency schedule main track defined the track and other than auxiliary track extending through the yards between the stations siding defined with the auxiliary track meeting with the passenger trains. Section 213-233 also links the inspection frequency with the amount of the annual tonnage of the presence of the passenger train with the speed according for the track class of the all railroad change for the design track of the other the main track and timetable. Other special instruction may not be permissible. Permit the railroad to reduce the track inspection frequency, and if the track remains essentially the same, the station designates to remain the method of operation continue with the same of the track, considering the main track with respect to the track safety standards in the condition with the main track type operating rules procedure applicable with the track, and in question the FRA will consider such the track of the main track under the track safety standards that would be the case of the event. Even railroad use of the terms such as spur, lead, running, or described of the track in question. Source letter dated July 10, 1991 from the FRA Associated Administrative Safety of the Union Pacific Railroad. Each railroad inspection performed in accordance with the schedule prescribed in paragraph C must be made on foot riding over the track of the vehicle speed of allowing the personal being of the inspection visual inspected with the track ensuring compliance with any inspection made for the vehicle driven along the track. It does not constitute the inspection performed the required frequency of the railroad made additional inspections using any other inspection method provided that the inspections are not used to comply with the frequency requirements prescribed in section 213-233 inspection other after dark compliance with the requirements of statute 213-233 track inspection along with the railroad inspector capable of detecting defects. Example: the inspections are routinely made in temples with time limited. No lighting maintenance requirements must be required. Inspections after daylight hours. Appropriate artificial lighting is required for an inspector to conduct valid inspection. Where the FRA inspectors are conducting an inspection for the high-rate vehicles on the track occupied with the record of the F16180 96 form, the high rail main track or MT high rail yard track YTH conducting the walking inspection multiple tracks with inspected with the counting with the form F6180.96. The recognized with the walking inspection reveal more traffic defective conditions than the high rail inspection. Therefore, the FRA may include that the multiple tracks while conducting walking inspection inspectors use the good judgment and ensure the high quality inspection conducting walking inspection. For purposes of application inspection intervals a week, which is outlined with the period of Sunday through Saturday, the accepted standard definition emphasized with the avoid of the confusion when the railroad changed with the starting with the end of the day of the week. The inspector of the territory and territory classes. Classes 1 through 3 require the wheeling inspection at least 3 calendar days intervals between the inspection before use of these tracks and use less than 1 week twice weekly at least 1 calendar interval between the inspection. Track carries passenger trains more than 10 million gross tons over the track during the preceding calendar year. When railroad operates seasonal irregular passenger service, expected the twice-a-week inspection conducted during those periods. The railroad would consider the compliance with the 2-week inspection that occurred with the week before the weeks to week. The passenger trains occurred with one-time infrequent seasonal passenger train movement that occurs only one day of a week. The twice-a-week inspection for the prior week with one inspection week of the movement is adequate. If the schedule passenger train is operated one day only at an interval during the week, it does not allow the 2 record required inspection required. All the movement at the 1 week inspection of the week must occur before the movement. 233D. If the person making the inspection finds that the deviation from the requirements for this part, the inspector shall immediately remedial action. Note that Statute 213-230 expected to provide paragraph B of the section. No part of the section will be any with the construed with the inspector description involved with the inspection, speed, and sign of the distance. Ensure the railroad providing with the proper inspection or the required frequency. Inspectors must periodically examine the railroad inspection record, noting the record type of the recording type defects in Statute 213-241, reviewing the track owner's inspection procedure record through the personal observation inspectors determine the number of the tracks being inspected, the number of the railroad inspector performing inspection specified tracks, and whether the railroad inspector actually traversed the track or by a vehicle or foot. The specified inspection track safety standards, but the track owner must assure all the tracks are inspected in accordance with the prescribed schedule. Failure to only comply with the schedule may constitute violation. If the track owner qualified as designated under Statute 213.7 of the deviation, the track safety standard failed to immediately initiate the proper remedial action. The failure constitutes a violation. The FRA track inspection does not constitute the required track inspection and the track safety standard. The FRA inspection acts if the railroad compliance. The Part 213 inspector will view the track owner inspector record to learn those records reflect the actual condition of the track structure under the train operations. Turnout and track caution. Visually inspected vehicle must be accomplished with speeding not exceeding 5 miles an hour. The vehicle speed with its sole discretion operated based on the track condition, inspection requirements, operating rules. Other circumstances may vary due to day-to-day, location to location. Nothing that the track safety standards procedure includes the inspection of the train engine along with the overall effectiveness. Inspection is to compare with the person is able to visually inspect the track structure in compliance with the part. However, the examiner of the track simultaneously operating locomotive should consider as an inspection under the track safety standards. The person must have the ability to stop movement with close examination of any possible defects for track. Deviations under Statute 213, 233 are observed with the field, observed with the Statute 213 through 41 record recording requirements. Inspectors may also monitor the other railroad records of the dispatcher control operator record track authority conveyed speed records restrictions placed to perform the inspection may be proper remedial action where taken. Alright, Class 1 through 3 require weekly inspection last 3 calendar days. Intervals between the inspection before use of the track is used at least once a week. Twice a week, at least 1 calendar interval between inspection. Track carries passenger trains no more than 110 gross tons during the pre-calendar year. Alright, 213, 234, automated inspection track construction concrete ties. This section, effective July 1st, 2012, requires automated inspection of track constructed with the concrete ties. Automated inspection technology available to perform an essential necessary supplemental visual inspection quantity performance-based specifications to guarantee the safety of the care of the behavior, provide objective, the confident and ensure train operation. Automatic inspection provide level of if the superior of the manual inspection methods have been analyzing overall weak points in the track geometry, structural geometry, components of the automated inspection can accurately detect the geometry, deviation, track safety standards can analyze the often examine manually. The railroad benefit the automated inspection technology have improved effective detection capabilities such as fewer track-related derailments, improving overall track maintenance. Automated inspection technology, the track geometry measurement system or the gauge resistant measurement system, and the vehicle tracking interaction. Performance measurement, the track geometry measurement system identifies single multiple non-compliant track geometry conditions. Gauge resistant measurement system located with the performance, the track strength, the location, the vehicle track interaction performance measurement standing including both acceleration wheel and force. The exceeding is established thresholds caused by the damage of the track component of the railway equipment also affects the passenger ride quality. The automated system can easily identify the measure of the track geometry that do not identify what causes them. Automated technology may combine with the same different geometry platform vehicles. The vehicle track measurement to be made with the truck frame, accelerator meters, car body, accelerator meters, instrumented wheel set that measure with the wheel force, wheel rail force, and force, ensuring performance limits are not exceeded. Move with the real seat deceleration. Real seat deterioration can be very difficult, time-consuming. Inspectors may, unless rail fasteners or assembly is removed, the automated inspection vehicle is proficient in indicating the rail seated deterioration can be inspected more rapidly, accurately. Visual track inspection. However, the indication of the rail seated deterioration must be field verified. Inspectors taking accurate measurements of substantial record systems. 234A General, except for the tracks prescribed in paragraph C of the section provision of the section applicable for the on and after July 1st, 2012, additional tracks inspection required under Statute 213, 233 of the Class 3 main track constructed with the concrete ties with regular scheduled passenger service trains operate with the Class 4 or 5 track main construction with the concrete ties. Automated inspection technology should use the indicated with the paragraph B of the section. Supplemental visual inspection Class 1 railroads, including Amtrak, Class 2 railroads, other intercity passenger railroads, commuter roads, other small government jurisdiction of these population greater than 50,000 automated inspection shall identify the report exemption condition of the Statute 213-109D. This paragraph specifies the automated inspection technology to be used as supplemental visual inspection Class 1 railroads, including Amtrak Class 2 railroads and intercity passenger railroads, commuter railroads, small governmental jurisdictions, severe population greater than 50,000 track constructed with the cross-concrete Class 3 main track over the regularly scheduled passenger service train operated for all the Class 4, and 5 main track constructed with the concrete ties. All the rules require the automated inspection to identify the report of concrete cross ties, deterioration, abrasion prohibited, Section 213-109 DB, and the purpose of the automated inspection measure for the rail-seated deterioration previously discussed. Rail-seated deterioration is a failure of the concrete surface between the rail and the cross tie. Section 213-109 DB. D4 requires the cross tie must not be deteriorated or abrased at any point under the rail-seated depth of 1/2 inch or more. The depth includes loss of rail pad material. Paragraph explicitly states the requirements of automated track inspection does not become applicable until July 1st, 2012. Inspectors should make step gauge caliper to verify the automated measurement of the rail seated deterioration and ensure the proper rail seat depth compliance. Alright, 234B, frequency automated inspection. Automated inspection should be conducted with the following frequencies: annual tonnage for Class 4 and 5 main track, with Class 3 main track with regularly scheduled passenger service exceeding 40 million gross tons annually, with at least twice each of the calendar year, not less than 160 days between inspection. Annual tonnage of Class 4 and 5 main track, Class 3 track, regularly scheduled passenger trains equal or less than 40 million gross tons at least once each calendar year. On Class 3, 4, and 5 main track, exclusive passengers that are automated, but the inspection, walking inspection must be conducted once per calendar year. Alright, track not inspected in accordance with this paragraph B1 and B2 of the section because of the train operation has been re-inspected with the 45 days reassumption of the train operation, walking automated inspection conducted as walking inspection, new inspection, automated inspection prescribed in this paragraph. Frequently automated inspection state with the frequency of the which of the track of the concrete ties is inspected for the automated means. Automated inspection conducted twice each of the calendar year, not less than 160 days between the inspection and annual tonnage of the Class 4 and 5 minimum main track of Class 3 main track with regular scheduled passenger service exceeds 40 million gross tons. Automated inspection conducted at least once each calendar year. If annual tonnage of the Class 4 and 5 main track, Class 3 track, regularly scheduled passenger service equals or less than 40 million gross tons. Additional regulation required the automated walking inspection conducted once per calendar year with the Class 3, 4, and 5 main track with exclusive passenger service track not inspected in accordance with the paragraph B1 and B2 of the section because of the train operation interruption may be re-inspected within 45 days of resumption of the train operation walking automated inspection. If the inspection is conducted as a walking inspection, the rules require the new scheduled inspection to be automated. Inspection of the rule provides sufficient flexibility to permit the track owner to schedule and the inspection to allow foreseeable operational conditions such as standing frame, train, or failed equipment still be able to conduct the required one or two inspection with the calendar year. Alright, 234C, the non-application section of the tangent of 600 feet or less for the constructed concrete cross ties, but not limited to isolated track segments, experimental test track segments, highway, grade crossing, wayside detectors excluded for the requirements of this section. Non-application excludes the required automated inspection sections, length of tangent track of 600 feet and less constructed with concrete ties, cross ties including but not limited to isolated track segments, experimental test track segments, highway, rail, grade crossing, wayside detectors exclusion as specified because the FAA recognizes the economic burdens caused by the being automated inspection to be made sure isolated locations constructed concrete ties that may be difficult to measure without removal of additional material, such as grade crossing planking. 234D, performance standard for the automated inspection measurement system. The automated inspection measurement system must be capable of indicating processing rail seat deterioration requirements that specify the following in accuracy within 1/8 of an inch. This is based on sample interviewing which should not exceed 5 feet. Calibration procedure parameters assigned with the system which assure the indicated recorded values accurately represent the rail seat deterioration. Alright, guidance. Performance standard for the automated inspection measurement system. The required for the automated inspection measurement system to be capable of indicating the process of rail seat deterioration requirements specifying the following: 1. Accuracy within 1/8 of an inch of the distance between the sampling interval not exceeding 5 feet. 3. The calibration proceeding parameters assigned to the system which assure the recorded values are currently with the rail seated deterioration. Rail seated deterioration indicates the result interpolation calculation of the rail cant measurement. The rail cant measurement provided by the indication to the designated statute 213.7 person with the location where they should be verified. Designed practically with the automated autonomous geometry and measurement system with the supplemental visual inspection each of the toward the identifying location for the greatest derailment risk. If the FAA objects to the policy on the ground, visual verification must be done with the inspector validated not on the rail seated deterioration, but all of the track structure geometry conditions discovered the automated mean. The automated inspection technology may exist. We believe the FRA rail profile measurement system is currently the most developed in technology to indicate the rail seat deterioration. Rail profile measurement system determines the rail seat deterioration by measuring the rail cant angle of the tenth of a degree, often detected with the rail measurement of the rail cant and the field with the hand measurement tools. Because of the fall dimension, 1 degree of the rail cant angle equals 1/8 of an inch depth between the rail seat with the rail. Typically, the rail profile measurement system instrument onboard FRA geometry cards are set to notify advisory alarms exemption when the angle exceeds 4 degrees, the negative outward or positive inward rail cant. The FRA content field complete automated inspection system provides a reliable method of the rail seat deterioration. However, to allow the future advanced technology, the FRA does not mandate track owners automated system measurement rail cant angle to determine the rail seat deterioration. If the FRA requires recognize the detecting rail cant alone with the necessary to demonstrate all possible locations of rail seated deterioration. For example, the FRA geometry will not find rail seated deterioration that are due to the compressing force of the load on the concrete cross tie. However, the FRA geometry cards will locate the rail seated deterioration due to the rail cant curve of the tangent track, which are hardest areas to detect manually when the rail is obstructed. 234E, exemption of the report produced by the system due to the field varying exemption. The automated inspection measurement system shall produce an exemption report containing the systematic listing of the exemptions of the statute 213-109D4 identified in such that the appropriate person is designated full qualified under statute 213 simply can be verified in each of the exemption. Exemption reports must be provided and made available to all persons designated as fully qualified under statute 213 simply with the territories are subject to the requirements of statute 213-234. Exemptions must be located field verified no later than 48 hours after automatic inspection. All field verified exemptions are subject to all the requirements of this part. Exemption reports must be notes are identified in the pad between 3/8 of an inch and 1/2 inch for the heads and an alert. Got it. Exemption reports to be reproduced system and duty to do field exemption require the automated inspection measurement of the system produce the exemption reports contain systematic listing of all exemption 213-109D4 identify the appropriate person designated with the full qualified under statute 213-7A, either the supervisor under 213-7A or the track inspector under 213-7B can be verified exemption. As designated qualified inspector must receive the non-compliant rail seat deterioration reports when the reports are made accessible to physically handled with the person designated under statute 213-7 for the verification and repairs purposes of the paragraph. It also required that the exemption to be located in the field verified no later than 48 hours after automated inspection. That all field verified exemptions are subject to all the requirements of Part 213. Inspectors should ensure the exemption between 3/8 of an inch for the 1/2 of an inch reported as alert. Automated inspection exemptions inspection exemptions equal to greater than 1/2 would require the field verification qualified personnel. Statute 213-7 that does not only ensure that the exemption report accurately reflects condition with the track, but also ensures that the qualified person can take the appropriate remedial action in time and manner. 234F, record keeping requirements. Track owners shall maintain and make available the FRA record of the inspection data for the exemption record for the track inspected in accordance with the paragraph for the minimum of 2 years. The exemption reports may include the following: date of location limits for the inspection and inspection, type of the location of each of the exemption, result of the field verification, remedial action if required. Record keeping requires containing the requirement that the track owner maintain the record of inspection and the exemption record of the track inspector in accordance with the section minimum of 2 years. The record must include the date and time, location of the inspection, type of the location, each of the inspection, the result of the field verification, any remedial action if required. The location and identification must be provided either by milepost or by some other objective means such as the location description provided with the global positioning system. And this new regulation is intended to require the track owner to keep the good record of the condition of the track construction with the concrete cross ties and other such record. The FRA track inspector will have greater ability to gain access to accurately access the railroad compliance history. 234G, provided the integrity of the data, the track owner shall institute the necessary the procedures to maintain the integrity of the data collected with the measurement system. At a minimum, the track owner should do the following: maintain and make available the FRA document calibration procedure with the measurement system of the minimum specified with the instrument verification procedure to ensure the correlation between the measurement made with the ground through the records of the instrument. Maintain each of the instrument used to determine compliance with the section such that the accurate and provide the indication of the depth of the rail seat deterioration in accordance with the paragraph D1 of this section. Perceive the integrity of the data required of the track owner to to institute the necessary procedure for maintaining integrity of the data collected with the management system. The track owner must maintain the make available the FRA documentation calibration procedure for the measurement system at the minimum specified in an instrument verification procedure will ensure the correlation between the measurements made on the ground, those recorded by the instrument. At the track owner must maintain an instrument used to determine the compliance with this section of the position of the paragraphs to ensure the equipment of the track of the owners used in comply with the regulation accurately, effectively designed to protect the owner. In lieu of the rail can't angle the reference track. Track owners can use alternate meeting with the technology that automated with inspection to indicate the rail seated deterioration. 234.8 Training. The track owner shall provide annual training in handling rail seat deterioration exemption by all the persons designated with the qualified under Statute 213.7 who territory is subject to the requirements of 213.234. Minimum of the training shall be addressed the following: for interpretation, handling exemption rolled through regenerated automated inspection measure system, locating verifying exemption field, required remedial action, and recording requirements. Guidance training required the track owner provide with the annual training with the handling the rail seated deterioration exemption with all the personnel designated with the fully qualified in Statute 213 for the who territories are subject to the requirements of 234. And a minimum of the annual training required by this paragraph shall address the interpretation and handling any exemption which reports generated by the automated inspection measurement system, looking and verifying exemption with the field that required remedial action, record keeping requirements. The objective is to ensure that all the persons required to comply with the regulations are properly trained. Alright, 213, 235, inspection of switches, track crossings, lifting, railing, assemblies, and other transition devices, movable bridges.